Hello, everybody. This is Scott Hudspeth with Agent Mastermind. Welcome to the call. I'm so excited to be here, and I'm here with a dear friend of mine all the way from Austin, Texas. And Chad Goldwasser, I hope I said that right, Okay, so Chad, get this. So Chad went from making $2.17 an hour working behind a bar at the age of 24 to being the #1 sales team in the world for Keller Williams in 9 short years. So he's going to cover the top 5 things that he did to achieve up to his best year, $123 million in closed production. And he's going to cover those 5 things that allowed him to get there and be there. And Chad, man, I can't thank you enough for taking time out of your day. I know you're busy, and I appreciate you bringing all this value to the people on the call today, man.
Hey, buddy, I'm glad to be here. I'm excited. I love sharing and I love helping people. So this is awesome. I love what you're doing, and I just really appreciate the opportunity to be here.
Absolutely, man. Always, man. You're always welcome back. So, man, I got my notepad, I got my pen, and I'm going to be here with you, man. But I'm excited to see what you have to share.
Awesome. Well, good afternoon, good morning to everybody on this call. I am extremely excited to be here. Like Scott said, I was born and raised in Minnesota and moved down to Austin, Texas when I was 22 years old. I had not graduated from college. I knew that somehow I would be successful, and I thought that was going to be in the restaurant business. And as I worked, when I got down to Austin, Texas, I got a job at a little restaurant here called Trudy's. And I was making $2.17 an hour plus tips, making drinks, very good drinks. And there was a lot of things that I learned there that I took into the real estate business. At the age of 23, I was looking for a way out of the restaurant business because I realized that was not going to be the way that I wanted to live my life. Going into the bar at 6 p.m. on a Friday night and leaving at 3 in the morning was not conducive to the type of life I wanted to live and to the type of family life I wanted to live. So I was looking for a way out. I found a business that I got really, really excited about and got into. I had no idea what Amway was, and I did not know anything about multi-level marketing, but I was invited into this business. I got very excited about it at the age of 23, and although it was never financially successful for me, it was an eye-opening experience because I got around people that were extremely motivated. I got around people that had goals. I got around people that were excited about the opportunity to totally change their lives and the lives of other people. And it changed me dramatically. And about a year after that, I decided to quit because it just was not financially successful, and I was looking for another opportunity. I had just bought my first house, and I went through that experience, and I decided that I was going to start investing in real estate at the age of 24. And in order to be smarter about that, I decided to get my license in the real estate business so I would understand the process more. And as I sat in those classes, I looked around at some of the other people in there, and I had a feeling that if these people could do it, then I could do it. And I got very excited about the idea of selling real estate. And in January of '98, I was licensed as an agent. And for 3 months, I would go into the bar at 6, I would leave at 2, I would get up at 7 o'clock, I would go to the office, and I was calling expired listings for sale by owners, all of my friends. And after 3 months of doing that, I had my first listing, and it was a mobile home, and it was about an hour outside of Austin. And at that point, I was learning the market. So I was not very successful yet, but one thing and one key I can share with all of you out there is that I don't care if you've been in the business for 100 years or 6 months. Study and learn and understand your market. And I'm not just talking about looking on the computer. I'm talking about go out and find areas and study and learn the properties that are on the market and learn about the schools and learn about everything in different neighborhoods so that you become a master of your product. As I was out doing this, I was on a property tour with a bunch of other agents, and I met a gentleman who changed my life forever. His name is James Willoughby, still one of my best friends to this day, but he rode in the back of my car on this property tour, and he was on his phone the whole time. And as he got out of the car, I thought to myself, damn, I want to be that busy, because my phone wasn't ringing at all. He got out of the car and he walked up to my window and he looked at me and he said, hey, I'm looking for a buyer's agent. And I had no idea who he was, and I had no idea what he was talking about, and I said, good luck. A month later, I am in my office. I am about to do an open house on a condominium, and I look down and there's a magazine, Broker Agent Magazine, and guess who's on the cover? James Willoughby. And so I sat down and I read this article about this guy, and just that morning I had been reading about, or I had been listening to a Mike Ferry CD, and he was talking about buyer's agents. So it was like all of a sudden I understood what he was talking about, a buyer's agent, and then no less than an hour later I see him on the cover of this magazine. And I sat down and I read all about this guy. He happened to be one of the #1 agents in the city of Austin, and I wanted to call him that day. I went and did my open house. I went into the bar. This is a completely true story. And I'm standing behind that bar that evening, and guess who walks up? James.
Same guy.
It was wild. And I said to him, dude, I was about to call you today. We met 4 days later, and I went... Sorry about that. I went to work with him as a buyer's agent. What's that?
Okay, there we go.
Sorry.
Yeah, it was coming in and out. Yeah, there you go.
I went to work with him as a buyer's agent, and he gave me a book that is now out of print. It was called 30 Days to Success as a Buyer's Agent. I've actually rewritten this book, and we'll have it available, my own version of it, within the next few months for people, because people always ask me for that book. But what happened was I got passionate and excited, and I learned from that book some of the things I'm going to be sharing with you in just a minute about how to become a rock star agent. And that next year, as a full-time buyer's agent for him, I sold 67 properties at the age of 25. I made close to $200,000 that year, and it was a life-shifting and changing experience. Because I was a guy that had no college degree. I was horrible in high school. I had a slightly goofy childhood, and going from that $217 an hour to making almost $200,000 in a year it just shifted my entire vision of who I could become and what I could do with my life. I ended up leaving him and going on my own. I'm sorry about that. I'm going to try and get rid of those emails coming through if you can see those. But I ended up going on my own, and I started to build my own team. Pausing that, sorry. And
no worries, man.
What happened was I started to kick ass at the lead generation aspect of my business. And, oh, I'm so sorry, Scott, that's coming up.
No worries, man.
And here's the deal. In that first year after I went on my own, I stuck to everything that I learned in that 30 Days to Success. It was mindset. It was lead generation. It was becoming a master converter. It was systematic systems in my business. It was teamwork. And so I completely focused on those areas, and I started to build my own team. And like you said, within 9 years, I had created a team that walked across the stage at Keller Williams Family Reunion as the #1 sales team worldwide, and my life completely changed from being that 24-year-old kid working behind a bar. So,
good for you, man. Congratulations.
My goal today is to share ideas with the people on this call that I still utilize today, that I still use in my own business today, and I'm going to share about those 5 key areas: bulletproof mindset, massive lead generation, becoming a master converter, rock solid systems, and the power of a team. So that's my goal today, Scott, and
cool.
I am excited about that. And so the first area that I want to talk about is a bulletproof mindset. And so I'm 24 years old, and I get this book, 30 Days to Success as a Buyer's Agent. And it has me doing anywhere from 20 to 40 different tasks every single day. And the first thing it starts out with is a set of 25 affirmations. I had never done affirmations in my life. And I had to go through these 4 times each day, 25 affirmations, saying to myself, I am the best at what I do. I lead, not follow. I study and learn my market. I make decisions and I immediately act on them. I am a master salesperson. So I went through these set of affirmations 4 times every day. I started getting up earlier. I had to then do a 10-minute quantum leap visualization exercise. I then had to write in a notebook 25 times every single day for 30 days, I will enjoy success through selling 4 homes per month. And what I didn't really get what I was doing, but what the power of that was it was changing my mindset. It was driving thoughts down into my subconscious mind about who I was and who I could become. And a lot of us, and if you walk away from this today with nothing else, I will tell you, when I got to #1 in the world for Keller Williams, when I was one of the top agents on the planet, which I still believe I am, people would walk up to me and they would ask, what is it? How are you doing it? What is the difference maker? And I would tell them, I'd pull them real close and I would say, it's massively positive energy and an incredible attitude. Because I can teach you all day long about lead generation. I can teach you about conversion. I can teach you about systems, doing an open house. I can teach you thousands of things about this business, but this is the key. And training your mind and having the kind of attitude that attracts people to us. Everybody knows that we are attracted to people with positive energy and repelled by people with negative energy. At least that is my case.
100%, dude. Yeah, you couldn't have said it better. I mean, truthfully, it's the one thing that I think, the people that are knocking it out of the park and the people that aren't, I mean, it's a huge difference is how they act 24/7, and how they respond to people. So absolutely. I mean, when I first called you, man, I was like, dude, I'm gonna love this guy because he's like, what's up? I'm like, that's so cool, man. He's positive, I'm excited.
It's genuine too, and
yeah, exactly.
I'll tell you this: that when you don't have it, it's a massive difference. And I'll just tell you real quickly, for those who don't know my story, in 2008, I left Keller Williams. In 2009, my company had grown to over 70 agents, Goldwasser Real Estate. I ended up finding out in 2009 that one of my controllers had stolen approximately $500,000 from me over the course of a 3-year period, left me with a $300,000 tax bill because she wasn't paying my payroll taxes. That was October 22nd of 2009. January of 2010, I lost my top agent. She proceeded to recruit away half of my agents over the course of a 6-month period. In the May of 2010, the woman that I married when I was 23, whom I met when I was 11, started dating when I was 13, and had 3 children with and built my company with, told me that she wanted a divorce. And that was like a 1, 2, 3 punch. And I lost the positive energy. Like, for a guy that built his entire life on positivity and energy, that was it was brutal, and I went through a period of massive depression, and I wasn't using the tools I'm about to share with you, and my energy was wrong, and my business did not thrive. And I'll tell you right now, I am more into my mindset, more into the affirmations, more into the visualization, more into the tools I'm about to share with you, and training my subconscious mind to believe in the goals that I have for my life, because I have some big goals. So, bulletproof mindset. Here's how I develop it. I have a mindset workout that I go through every single day of my life that I wasn't going through back then. And there's some different tools that I use. And the first tool I want to talk about is called Creating Your Utopia. Creating Your Utopia. And this is a process that I go through probably about 2 or 3 times a year, where I will sit down, and basically what I do is I will get up early in the morning, and I will go and get some exercise, and I will go to my favorite coffee shop, and I will end up doing some reading for about 30 minutes, get really inspired, and then I will sit down, open my notebook with a pen in my hand, and I will write a vision for my life. And I usually push my life out 20 years. You can do it for 10 years, 5 years, 3 years, 1 year. But I'll write a 20-year vision of my life, and it'll be a story basically about where I'm at. And it will say, I'm 42 right now, so I would start it saying I'm 62 years old, and I am more full of life and energy and joy than I have ever been before. My businesses are thriving, my relationships are thriving, and life is amazing. And then I will go into different areas, my relationship with my wife, my relationship with my children, my relationship with my peers, my business, my real estate company, my travel schedule, my health. Like, I'll go into all these different areas, and I'll write about what would be absolutely amazing and awesome. And then I can come back and read through that and think to myself, if when I'm 62 years old, I want to have written 10 #1 New York Times best-selling books, I want to be a leader and a teacher, an internationally known speaker and leader and teacher and motivator, what do I have to do today? So I have the vision. So for the people out listening to this, if you have a goal for your business, whether that be to make 100,000, 200,000, 500,000, to be #1 in the world for your company, to be one of the top 50 agents on the planet, to be #1 on the planet, sit down, write it out, get real specific. It's almost like a movie script that I'm writing, a movie about my life if it were absolutely perfect and utopian. And then from there, I can come back to today. And basically, what that does for you is it guides your life. Because if my goal is to be a #1 New York Times best-selling author, what do I have to do, Scott?
You have to write.
Exactly. Exactly. And if I want to be a #1 real estate agent in the world, what do I have to do? I have to
sell a lot of homes, list a lot of homes, so both buy and sell, list and sell a lot of homes.
And so that's the first step. I come up with a vision, I push my life out, whatever it is, 20 years for me, 10 years, 5 years, 3 years, 1 year, and that gets me excited. From that, I can create my daily goals. The next thing that I want to do to train my subconscious mind, because your conscious, everybody knows we have a conscious and a subconscious mind, right?
Yes.
And so the conscious is very small, the subconscious is very large and massive, and it is rarely tapped into by most people. And the subconscious mind is the voice inside of ourselves that tells us what we can or cannot do. And most people's subconscious mind is influenced by the thinking of the world, because like if you think about it, when we're a kid, we have these dreams, right, of like, I want to be an astronaut, I want to be a rock star, I want to be a billionaire, or I want to be a veterinarian, or whatever it is. We have these dreams, and then as we grow older and people start to tell us we can't do that, or we watch TV and we learn about all the negativity that's in the world and all these challenging things that are going to stop us, we lose sight of that dream and of that vision. And so the goal is to start influencing your own thinking and changing the subconscious mind to believe in your dreams. And so the first tool that I use, the second tool that I use, and this is daily. This is my daily mindset workout. I utilize what I call a wake-up thought. A wake-up thought. And it is just simply the first thought that I have trained myself to think every single day as I step out of bed. And a lot of people wake up, they hit the buzzer on the alarm, they think, oh God, I got to do it again today, oh my God. They start getting in this anxiety of all the things they have to do, and the day starts off in a negative direction. The wake-up thought is simply a tool to get your thought process in the right track immediately. My wake-up thought is this: it is an awesome day, and I will positively impact the lives of everyone I touch today. And this morning, when I got up, I was thinking about you guys. So that is the first set of my mindset workout. The second step that I go through then on my way to exercise, usually I'm up at about 5 a.m., I will think my wake-up thought, I will get dressed, I will get in my car, and this morning I then go through my affirmations. I am still using these every single day. It's been 18 years minus the 2 or 3 that I went through a horrible period. And I will go through my affirmations. And I will like, I can't tell you how much this is life-changing. Like, some people may have grown up in the time that I grew up, where there was Stuart Smalley on Saturday Night Live. I don't know if you grew up then, Scott.
Oh, dude, Saturday night, literally, it's funny you bring that up, because I would go to bed with Jay Leno and Jimmy Fallon.
Well, do you remember the skit on that Martin Short did, Stuart Smalley, and he's doing affirmations into his mirror, and he says, I'm good enough, I'm strong enough, right? And although that was very funny, I think that ruined this idea for a lot of our generation. But
yeah, maybe it did. Yeah.
Affirmations are incredibly powerful, and so I go through my affirmations, and I would suggest to everybody out there listening right now that you create 15 to 25 amazing affirmations about who you are and about what you want to become. And Scott, I'm glad to send you all of these affirmations that I have in my business plan and such, but here are mine.
Awesome.
And out there in the world that's listening, you can go through these if you want as I say them. I am the best at what I do. I lead, not follow. I treat all others as I would like to be treated. I believe, not doubt. I am a New York Times best-selling author. I am the best person I can be. I am a great father. I act with courage and boldness in all my endeavors. I am a leader. I am living a legendary life. I live my life with passion and 10,000 megawatt energy. I am an awesome person. I am smart. I am focused. I am excited about my life. I am focused on my growth. If I must doubt something, I will doubt my limits. I realize my biggest dreams by working daily on my littlest goals. Focus is my superpower. I have unlimited positive energy. I am successful at everything I do. I attract the best that life has to offer with my enthusiasm and my energy. I inspire others.
That's awesome, dude. Yeah, and there's people asking for those, by the way. That's great. Dude, I don't know about anybody else on this call, but I got chills from that stuff. So the mindset, it's so funny you brought up where people live. And I hate to say this, but the average American person is not happy. And
No.
so if you can bring a ray of sunshine to their life, and I've literally been making a list, and I added one since you brought it up, but I have a list of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 16, 17 different things of why the fear of failure, like the fear, why people don't succeed. And I have these things listed out, fear of failure, fear of, and I added the one you talked about today is people telling me I am crazy and can't do that.
Yeah.
Fear of looking bad, fear of losing the dream, fear of rejection, fear of not knowing what to say, fear of not being techy enough, fear of like all these fears that people have that they have to deal with, and you overcome them by having affirmations that you can over. So you just change the fear to I am techy enough. I don't fear rejection. I don't fear failure. I look it right in the face and eat it for lunch, whatever. It's just amazing how if you change that thought pattern.
And think about this, right? Like, so when you're walking around in fear and doubt and worry, right? Like, you're not going to say hello to the guy at Starbucks. You're not going to be energetic at an open house. You're not going to be enthusiastic in a listing presentation. When you're scared and you're fearful and in your subconscious mind you're talking about those things to yourself constantly, you are not going to reach your potential. When you're walking around, like when I'm walking around saying to myself, I am the best in the world at what I do. I am going to do more to become the best. I am going to have confidence, and people are attracted to that confidence and that energy, and we can inspire other people. So,
no question.
Real quickly, the last two that I want to share, and then we'll move on to massive lead generation, is your why. This is another set in my workout. If you have not read Gary Keller's book, I love Gary Keller, one of my favorite people on the planet. He wrote a book called The Millionaire Real Estate. In there, he talked about thinking powered by a big why. And my big why is my next set in my workout, and I read it every single day. And I suggest for all of you that are out there, this is the next step if you want to take it, is sit down and take a little time and write down your why. And this is mine, and I go through it every day, and I'll share it with you. I'm doing what I am doing because God gave me the tools and presented me with the opportunity to make a huge difference in this world. I have the ability to be the best at what I do because I understand it. I have a major passion for it. I'm a student of it, and I have absolute and utter belief in myself and my team. I want my children, my wife, and all of my family to have total freedom of choice to do what they want to do. I want to positively impact the lives of everyone I touch, especially those whom I love the most. I want to give back to those who love me, support me, and believe in me so that they may live a life they never thought possible. I want to create positive change as much as I can and make the world a better place. I will always strive to be the very best that I can be, and most of all, I want my family to be proud of who I am. So that's my next set.
Awesome,
so by like 5:40 or 5:30 in the morning when I'm done with these exercises, I'm excited. I am on fire. I am energized. And that truly, and let me just share the absolute tactical reason that it is important to have a positive attitude and mindset. When in June of 2009, I had one of my best months ever. I closed 22 sales. It was about $180,000 in commissions. Pretty fun month, right?
Yeah, right.
So, and I don't tell you that to brag. I'm telling you that because here's the deal. When you have 22 deals going on, if your mindset and attitude is shitty, those deals, at least a lot of them, are going to crater. And I utilize what I call the 0.01% principle, and this is what my positive attitude does for me. If 99.9% of a deal is challenging, I focus on the 0.01% that is good, and I shift everybody's thinking in the transaction to that 0.01%, and I breathe life into deals. I get deals done, and I make things happen. And that
man, dude, that is God. I'm getting a lot of chills on this presentation by you. But one of the things that we as humans have a problem with is if you're talking to 10 people, or say 100 people, and there's one guy in the back of the room going, "You suck," and there's 99 people going, "You're awesome." we for some reason focus on the one guy saying you suck. And it's the hardest thing to turn off. And if you, like, in what you just said was you focus on that 1% or 0.01% of the positive and it's always there, you know, and it's the positive part is always there no matter how bad the situation is. There's always something good that is part of it or can come out of it. And, you know, I applaud you for bringing that point up because, that, you know, so I think sometimes people forget there is some positive in every single situation that's going on during the day.
Absolutely. And in life, I mean, dude, when I was going through that period, honestly, when I went through that divorce, when I went through embezzlement, when I went through all that crap, like I got to be completely honest with everybody out there. There was many days when I would go sit in my garage, look at my car, and want to get inside, turn the keys, close the garage door, and never get out. Like
right.
It was dark and negative and crappy, and I'm just being honest with you. Going from leading, you know, and that's 3 years after I walked the stage as the #1 agent in the world, and you are going to go through this stuff. Like, if you have big dreams and big goals, like, you are going to go through some stuff that is going to challenge you. And I look back on that now, and I didn't see it when I was going through it. But that stuff, that challenge, that negativity, those times when I look back at it, I thank God that I was blessed with that challenging time, because you know what? My life is about to explode and get even bigger, and I needed that. I needed that to humble myself, to have more humility. I needed it to understand how I could serve other people at even a higher level.
Amen, bro. And see, you. I mean, there's always a reason for it. It's just I'm glad you made it through it, and now you see it, you know, which is really cool.
So there's one more thing on mindset, and then we're moving on. There's a system that I use called the Gold Star process, and basically, if you look at your conscious and your subconscious mind like an ant and an elephant, and that ant is on the back of the elephant, and your conscious is the ant, and your conscious is moving in the direction of wanting to make $100,000 in a year, and the elephant, your subconscious, is saying, dude, you never graduated from college. You are not that smart. You don't have that talent. You're never going to get what you want. You're never going to live that dream. You're never going to make that $100,000. So the idea is you want the ant traveling in the same direction as the elephant. That's the main idea of everything that I'm sharing with you right now. And so I utilize a system called the Gold Star process. One of my next goals is to hit #1 on the New York Times bestseller list. I am writing my new book right now. It is called Restart, and that will be available by the end of the year. But what my main goal, #1 New York Times bestseller list, is a gold star that I put all over my field of vision. I have them on my computer, on my phone, in the mirror in my car, in the mirror in my bathroom, and the idea is every time I see that gold star during the day, which is usually 100, 200 times, I say to myself, I am a New York Times bestselling author. I am a New York Times bestselling author. I am a New York Times bestselling author, over and over and over again. And that pushes me. That gets sunk down into my heart and my soul and my subconscious mind, and that pushes me to do the work. That pushes me to write. So, bulletproof mindset.
Awesome,
if you walk away with this, nothing else. Take this and implement this. It'll change your life. #2 is massive lead generation. So, probably about 3 years into my business, I started looking at, you know, we were doing about 100 deals or so, and I wanted to go to 200. And I started looking at every area of my business and deciding how I was going to, because it's all about the leads, right? I mean, like, it's all about the leads. So everyone out there, if you would, in your notebook, if you have one, write down a little circle, and this is what I call my lead generation wheel. And I was on my bike out in Moab, Utah, and I was watching the wheel of my bike getting the shit beat out of it, excuse my language, and I thought to myself, what makes this wheel strong? And I looked at the hub, and I looked at the tire, and I looked at and then I looked at the spokes, and I thought to myself, it's the spokes that allow this thing not to collapse. And I thought, what is it in my business that allows my business not to collapse? And it's lead generation. So this is what I call the lead generation wheel. And there's different spokes in the lead generation wheel. And I'm just going to
talk. Hey, are you, sorry to interrupt, man. Are you sharing your screen? Do you have that wheel up on the?
All right. I don't have the wheel, but
there we go. There we go. Okay, cool. All right. Just want to make sure we're on the right slide there. There you go.
Yeah. So, so like when I think about lead generation, I want to be like a tree in the fall where the leads are falling off of me like leaves off the tree. Like I want them like falling, like just people calling me constantly, like massive lead generation. I am a lead generation machine. And so what I did was I looked at my business and I said, okay, well, what is making my business strong? It's lead generation. Where are my leads coming from? And the first area, which is a free area, was my sphere of influence. People that knew me, people that liked me, my friends, my family, my clients, my past clients. These are all people in my sphere of influence. And I said to myself, okay, if that is one of the spokes in my wheel, am I doing everything that I can to maximize the leads that are coming from my sphere of influence? And if you think to yourself out there right now, what am I doing to generate business from the people that know me, like me, and have done business with me? And the number one thing that I did from there is I started creating a plan around my sphere of influence. How can I maximize the leads coming from my sphere of influence? So the first thing I said was, well, I need to make calls to my sphere of influence. I need to write personal notes to my sphere of influence. I need to expand my sphere of influence. I need to feed my database. I need to take people in my sphere of influence out to lunch. So if you would write down this, I am making blank calls to my SOI. I am writing blank notes to my SOI. I am scheduling blank lunches with my SOI per week. I am feeding my database blank people per week. Now we can take and we have a weekly or daily goal, right? So if you're not making any calls to your sphere of influence, start there. Like, don't try and implement all this, but start there. Like, I am making 5 calls to my sphere of influence per week. If you make 5 calls to your sphere of influence, past clients, current clients, referral partners, you will be way ahead of 99.9% of the agents in this business. Writing personal notes, taking people out to lunch. So every Thursday is my SOI lunch day. I make sure that on Monday I'm scheduling my sphere of influence lunch for Thursday. I make 10 calls. I find one person to go to lunch on Thursday. And usually that is an unmovable object in my schedule. But I will have 2 or 3 of those most likely per week. And in those meetings, I'm finding out about their lives. I'm finding out about their children. If you looked at my database, Scott, which I use Top Producer for my database system, there are notes and notes and notes about conversations that I've had with people, people's children, what they like to do, what they do for work, and all these different aspects, and I keep it in there. That's one area, sphere of influence. The second area that I would suggest that you master and you create a lead flow, a spoke in your wheel, is open houses. Most agents across the country, when I go and speak to people, I will ask them, how many people in here love to do open houses? And I will be in a room of 100 people and I'll get 1 or 2 hands. I love open houses. Open houses I have sold millions and millions of dollars of real estate from open houses. And the reason that most people do not like open houses is that they don't have a good system for them. So I created a system. Before I decide on Tuesday what open house I'm going to do, Red Pebble Road. I let the client know on Tuesday, and this is my system I'm sharing with you right now. I decide what I'm going to hold open. I let the client know. I get the sign writer out there by Thursday at 3 p.m. I then pull all of the properties in that neighborhood that are active. I find 5 to 10 that are most like my property or in different price categories. I go out and preview those homes. I look at what else is on the market in those areas so that when someone walks into my open house and they've gone to 5 open houses and every agent that they walk into the open house says, are you working with an agent? And they say, well, yeah. They say nothing else. Like, that is not what I do. Someone walks into my open house and they say, well, you know, this house doesn't really match what we're looking for. And I say, well, have you seen the one down the street on 1525 Johnson Street that just came on the market, listed at $475,000? It's a single story, 4 bedrooms, backs to the greenbelt, and it has this beautiful fireplace, like awesome. Have you seen that one? No. Okay, well, I'm done at 4 o'clock. I would love to be able to show you that property. When I know the other homes in the area and I've studied and looked at those other properties, I'm going to turn people. I also have scripts that I use for my open houses. I have an open house book. I put out 15 signs for every open house so I can drive people through that open house. So those are 2 free areas for lead generation. The last one I'm going to talk about, and then we're moving on, is farming. I am a master farmer. 15 years ago, I sat in an event at the NAR convention in New Orleans, and I listened to these people talk about they went into a neighborhood and they asked who was the top agent. They did a survey, who was the top agent in the neighborhood. They got about 50 different responses. They did a mail out with a fictitious agent 8 times over 8 weeks, and they then resurveyed the neighborhood, and guess who was the top agent? The fictitious agent. And so I came back and I created an 8x8 marketing campaign to my neighborhood, which was about 400 homes at the time. I did 4 mailings, and I was very creative with them. And I'm willing to share with you, Scott, and the rest of the people out there, what that was, or the new one that I'm just coming out with now. But I didn't just do the mailings, because this is what a lot of people say as well. Yeah, farming doesn't work, or it never worked for me. Well, that's because all they do is they send out a postcard and they hope that people call them. Once you get done sending that postcard out, after about 3 of them go out and knock on the doors in that neighborhood. So I went out and I knocked on every single door in my neighborhood. I talked to about half the people in the neighborhood. My script was very simple. I knocked on the door, they answered, I had a little bit of information about the market in the area. I said, hey, I'm Chad Goldwasser with RE/MAX Real Estate, Goldwasser team. I live right down the street. I work in this area a lot. I just want to let you know, if you ever need help buying or selling real estate, I'd love the opportunity to serve you. Here's some information on the neighborhood. And I did not get in their face. I had a smile on my face. I gave them energy, and then I called everyone in the neighborhood, and then I got my first listing, and I did a massive open house, and then I added a newsletter advertising, then I added a billboard, then I started giving money back to the schools in the area. I started farming the whole neighborhood, 4,500 homes, and I took over that market. So those are just 3 of the spokes in my lead generation wheel. There's also radio. There is expired listings, for sale by owners, agent referrals from around the country, which, by the way, if you ever need an awesome agent in Austin, Texas, I would love all your referrals. Chad Goldwasser, Pure Gold Realty.
There you go.
All right. That's lead generation.
It's funny you bring up that fictitious realtor. That study, I've literally mentioned that 2 or 3 times on the webinar, different webinars, where they remember the person that last sent them stuff in the farming, and it was a realtor that didn't exist, because they went around first and said, hey, who would you recommend? And they're like, they really didn't have anybody. And then they started sending these mailers to this neighborhood over a period of months, and then they went back and did it again, a survey, and they're like, oh, I'd recommend this person. I'd recommend this person. It was just because there was consistent mailers coming in, and that person was in front of them, and that was in the front of their mind. It was hilarious.
It doesn't matter if they're selling homes. And the truth is, most agents never keep in touch with their past clients. And so even if these people have an agent, they're going to find someone else.
Doesn't matter.
They're going to find the person that is dominant in that area.
No question.
So let's talk about becoming a master converter. You can create leads all day long. If you don't become a master converter, and this became one of my first goals when I got in the business, I started going to seminars, Howard Brinton seminars. I started studying scripts and dialogues. If you are not utilizing scripts and dialogues in your business, and I remember one of my first agents that I hired as a buyer's agent on my team, he said, "Oh man, I don't use scripts, man. I'm a great bullshitter. I can talk to people all day long." And I looked at him and I said, "Have you ever made $50,000 in a month?" And he said, "No." And I said, "Well, I started using scripts, and by utilizing those scripts, I was able to help people make the decision to work with me enough times that allowed me to make $50,000. Would you be willing to try scripts?" And he agreed. So scripts to me are simply a way of leading, like I believe, this is not conceit or arrogance. This is my deep down seated belief in my heart and soul and mind, is I believe I am one of the best agents on the planet. I love serving my clients, and I believe that nobody will give them better representation than me. And so scripts are merely words that I study and utilize to help lead people to make the right decision to work with me. And so I would say that out there, start studying and learning scripts and dialogues. There's great ones out there. There's tons of different people that will share scripts with you, from Mike Ferry to Howard Brinton, still Star Power. There's a lot of great script and dialogue books out there. But start studying and learning and understanding scripts. And I use a technique to learn scripts I call MICC. M stands for memorize, I stands for internalize, C stands for customize, and the second C stands for capitalize. So memorize, internalize, customize, and then capitalize. And that means that when I'm learning a script, I will first read through that script word for word 50 times, and I will role play that with another agent. Once I've done it that many times and I've memorized it, then I internalize it. It just becomes a part of the way that I speak. And when I internalize it, then I can customize it to my own type of speaking, right? And then I capitalize, and that means I make money because I'm able to convert more people. Becoming a master converter on the phone, in person, at open houses, I like to stun people. So stun is an acronym for me, but basically, like when you called me, Scott, when we had that first conversation, and you said, I want to know this guy, right?
Right on.
Did you say that?
I did. I got off the phone. I said, Vicky, this guy rocks. He's like me, because it's funny because you said the same thing that I say all the time. I'm like, all right, did Vicky tell him to say that, or it's just kind of cool. That was kind of cool.
So it's almost like here's what people are used to: ring, ring, ring. Hello. Hey, I was calling about this property you have listed down on Johnson Street. Oh, okay, Johnson Street. It's like, okay. So when they call me, I want to stun them, S-T-U-N, which means take them back a little bit, like to the point where they're like, whoa, holy shit, this guy, like, this is different than the kind of reception I get from a lot of people. And stun stands for smile. I always want to smile. When people call me on the phone, they can hear a smile. Smile. T stands for 10,000 megawatt energy. I don't want to blow people away, but I want them to be taken aback by the energy that I convey through the phone. U is unique selling proposition. What makes you different? And N is never let people go off the phone, from an open house, in a listing appointment. Never leave without asking for the business. So S-T-U,
all action, baby.
Smile, 10,000 megawatt energy, USP, and never let them leave without asking for the business.
Love it, dude. I love that.
And
Best word of the year.
master your presentations. And we're getting a little low on time, Scott. So I wanted to talk about mastering your presentations too, but we'll leave that for another time.
Okay.
And people can go to my website, chadgoldwasser.com. I have my book, Some Assembly Required, a Networking Guide for Real Estate. That is my first book that is available on that website. There are 10 different CDs on there that are available for people if they want to purchase them. I'm not here to sell you a bunch of stuff, but I am here to allow you to invest in products that might change your life if you're interested. chadgoldwasser.com, it's at the bottom. That is my website, as well as puregoldrealty.com.
Dude, I got so many notes on this. So let me. There's a couple questions, and there's a couple good ones. One of them I want to address. Let me see. So if you wake up one morning and you just, oh God, where's it at? It's right here. Let's see here. 1 second. It was up here. More or less, if you wake up one morning, and you just don't have it in you. Okay, so Danielle's asking. So do you ever have days where you don't feel like saying your affirmations? How do you overcome that?
Hell yeah.
Oh,
Hell yeah.
Always, yeah.
This is a discipline. I don't want you to think that this is easy. Like, I'll tell you this. Success is simple. Success is simple, but it is not easy. Doing your affirmations, waking up. I don't wake up every single day. Most days I actually do, to be honest. But I don't wake up every single day like, hey, it's a great day, it's an awesome day, I'm going to positively impact people, let's go do our effort. I don't wake up every single day like that, but most days I do. It comes over time, and I'll just share this with you too, Scott, and to all of you out there. You're not going to wake up tomorrow and do your affirmations and do your wake-up thought, and your life changes forever.
Right.
Not one day. Amen. It's not one. It's like if I do one open house and nobody comes through and I don't get it. Like walk away from this presentation and these ideas and try them once. And if they don't work, don't give up.
Yeah.
Doing them. And I'll just tell you, Scott. Like I have 30 agents with my company right now. I still, to this day, this weekend, I had the weekend off, and one of my clients, $1 million home, decided she wanted open houses, and guess what? I was out on Saturday from 1 to 4 p.m. doing an open house at her house. I was out on Sunday 1 to 4 p.m. And did I want to be there? Not totally, but I did, and I got in front of 40 people over those open houses, and I got 5 leads from it. So
wow.
I'm not
right.
Like this stuff, success is very boring sometimes, because success comes from doing the same thing over and over and over and over and over and over again till you become a master of it. Like I wasn't amazing on the phones when I started. I wasn't a great speaker and teacher when I started. I wasn't a great listing presenter, but now, after doing them thousands of times, of practicing, of becoming great, it happens, and it's the same thing with your mindset.
Great stuff, man. Great stuff. Here's Richard. I appreciate you being here. He says, when you started hiring buyer's agents, did you hire and then weed out the weaker ones? And that's probably could be a whole class on how, we could do a hiring class. Yeah, that's a whole other class.
You know what, Scott? So I have the systems left, and then the power of a team, and we're gonna go to some of these questions because I'm glad to answer them. But
yeah.
Let me just tell you this, Richard. I have in my career probably hired well over probably 300 to 400 agents. And let me just share with you something that happened to me when I had 6 people on my team. We were doing about 180 deals. I had 2 buyer's agents, I had 3 admin, and myself handling listings. And I sat in my office for 3 days, and I created a plan. This was in 2004. And I said, finish strong, then 400. That was my battle cry. And everyone came in the office on Monday, and there were these signs all up, and everybody was like, what? Dude, this guy is crazy. And one of my agents came in, And she said to me, "We can't do it. We're all working too hard already." And guess what I did? I changed my goal. And 3 weeks later, my coach came into town, and I told him the same story, and he said, "Dude, sometimes you have to prune." And sometimes, Richard, right? Is that who asked the question?
Yes, Richard, yes.
Okay, you're going to bring on agents, you're going to train them, teach them, pour your life into them, and do everything you can, and they're not going to be the right people. And just like a flower or a tree or a bush, sometimes you have to go in and you have to prune it, and then it will grow back stronger. And
there you go.
That is absolutely what will happen. And I have had some amazing, amazing agents that I've poured my life into, and they've left. I've had some incredibly great people that I thought were going to be amazing and awesome, and they just couldn't do it. They didn't have the work. They didn't have the internal to keep going when things were
And you were breaking up. You're breaking up there a little. I think it's our internet or something, but shoot, or lose you. Maybe it's just me. Sounds like. Is it just me, Vic? All right. Hey guys, hopefully you can hear me, and maybe not. Maybe we lost internet.
No,
or
it wasn't. Yeah, it wasn't you.
Me?
It was on his side.
It was him. Okay. All right. Thank you. Shoot, man, that was good. So we're at the top of the hour, and Chad, if you can still hear me, dude, awesome presentation. I have 2 pages of notes here that I'm actually going to use some of it. And he just keeps cutting out. So I don't know if the internet, or it could be GoToMeeting too. It doesn't show it, but I appreciate everybody being here, and I hope you got something out of today. We will be posting his words of affirmation on the private Facebook group. So, and he doesn't sound like he can hear me either. So I apologize for the technical difficulty, but we'll be back here, same time, same place, and I'm going to try like heck to get Chad back on here at another date.
Yeah, I would love to hear more.
I literally got more chills today than I think I've gotten in a long time from his presentation. So. Are you? Yeah, I can hear you now, brother.
All right.
We lost you. So hey, dude, a lot of kudos coming in, man. Just great webinar. Thanks. I mean, it was amazing, dude. I literally took some ideas of. One lady said, hey, MJ says, are you Bill and Helen Goldweiser's grandson?
Yes, Bill and Helen.
All right. So MJ Stackhouse asked that question. So. Somebody knows your family. St. Louis. So hey, they said if you and again, you're very busy. They said on your presentation, like the spoke of a wheel and the spokes and stuff, man. Dude, what an awesome visual. You know what I mean? To have the spokes and what those different spokes mean to your business.
Dude, I could spend all day on that.
I know. Dude, I would love to have you back, and I hope that someday we can get you back on and finish those last 2, and then maybe and I know those last 2 we could probably spend the whole time on, and then maybe add a little bit of hiring people and how you do it, and finish up on that too as well. So I'd appreciate. I don't know if you want to, man. I'd love to have you back.
Absolutely. Yeah. And this quote here. Most people have a better chance to be uncommon by an effort than by their natural gifts. Anyone could give that effort, but the typical person doesn't. And I'm just telling you, like, this person that I have been fortunate to become, and it's not, I mean, I was given talents just like everybody else, but I just maximize them, and I wake up every day wanting to do more and be better and grow, and I hope everyone else out there does. And If someone wants a copy of my book, Some Assembly Required, A Networking Guide to Real Estate, or the CDs, they can go to chadgoldwasser.com. If anybody out there is looking for coaching, or if they have real estate referrals to Austin, give me a call. That's my cell number there. And
there we go.
Thanks so much for having me on. I had a blast. I love sharing. And if anybody out there needs a speaker for their real estate company or wants to bring me in, I absolutely love sharing and motivating and inspiring people, and I hope I did that today.
Yes,
you absolutely did, man. You absolutely did. Thank you so much. And Vicky's my partner. She's here with me, so she always likes to listen in, and we're just really excited to have you here, and would love to have you back. So appreciate you, brother. Well, I'm sure we'll be in touch a lot. I love your voicemails, love your text. Thanks for waking me up this morning with that beautiful voicemail. All right, man. Talk to you soon. Hey, same time, same place next week. We'll have another class for you, same time. Appreciate you guys. Honored to be a part of your lives, and we will see you right here on Agent Mastermind. Everybody be safe and have a great long weekend coming up. Take care, everybody. Bye-bye.